Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pizzas Here podcast, your home for all of your content that you need for the Washington Capitals and the NHL. I'm EA, and I'm joined by the usual Jake and Will. We are without our fourth member, Joey, today, but we are joined by Hockey Troll from the Caps Chirp Podcast. How's it going?
It's going well, man. Should I turn my camera on now? I know there was a lot of
Yes, you can turn your camera on. Yeah, definitely do that. How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. Watching the Caps just beat ass everywhere, up and down the league. So that's always a positive. It's really the only thing I live for, right? Right, boys?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
What more does a man need in life than the Washington Capitals playing well in the regular season just to bloat in the playoffs? But we're not there yet. All right.
Who knows?
So
Man? Look at the world beaters right now.
well, we're back for season 2, episode 8, and yeah. So I'll just start us off. As you guys know, like I just said, we are joined by Hockey Troll. There is a second member of the Caps Chirp podcast, Paulie Cupcakes. He can't be with us today. He is busy at work, but we wish he could be here, but we hope work's going well. But how did the Caps Chirp podcast first get started?
Well, back in the day, I'd say a few. So we're in season 3 of our podcast now, of the Caps Chirp podcast, or the official Caps Chirp podcast, if you will, which is the full name. We've been doing that for 3 years with the Hockey Podcast Network. I had a podcast called, just the Hockey Troll Podcast. And we talked about the NHL at large when, and then kind of out of the blue got picked up by Ish and Dylan, who are the creators of the Hockey Podcast Network. And they're like, we're putting together a website where you can go to it and any fandom will enjoy it because there's going to be a podcast for every single team. So we thought that was cool. The Caps were open at the time. We were both Caps fans. So, and this was even before Paulie came on. So then first season came up. My previous host had to dip out. He moved to Toronto, and then I picked up Paulie, who I've been playing hockey with forever. So we just and that's history, man. I mean, basically that's been it. We've just been working on it ever since.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had a question before this. How did Paulie Cupcakes get the nickname Paulie Cupcakes?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Because he's a snack, right?
Okay.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
No, that's a good answer.
Well, honestly, it was who was it? Some actor was at the All-Star game one year, and he was interviewing John Tavares, and he called him Johnny Cupcakes or something like that. And Paulie just ripped it off directly.
Just took it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Original.
So, total rip off. It fits him.
Yeah. What are a couple of your favorite memories as a hockey podcaster so far from doing the podcast?
Oh man. Well, we drink heavily when we do the podcast, so I don't remember a lot. But I would say, we've had some. So when we set out to do this, first of all, it's fucking criminal that anybody listens to the podcast in my eyes, because who gives a shit what we think about hockey, right? But it started off just like, hey, let's talk about it, and then maybe if we get lucky, somebody will listen and it'll be kind of cool, chasing that clout, if you will. But
of course, that's what we live for.
Yeah, then we got into the network, and we were like, oh shit, these guys are for real. They're looking for sponsors. They've got people that are doing real business type stuff, and we were literally looking for someone just to host the podcast for free, because we were using a free hosting site. Shout out Kiwi 6. And they were like, you can only have 20 episodes on here before you start deleting them. So we were at those stages where we were deleting episodes, and just at this time, like when Dylan reached out to us, I was like, will you guys pay for hosting? And they're like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, where do I sign? So I guess it came from that to getting crazy guests on. I mean, we reached out to Ole Kolzig. We've had him on a couple times. You guys all seem pretty young, so I don't know if you're. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
I mean, I know. Yeah, I know who.
Okay. Yeah.
Love Kolzig. I don't know why
Yeah.
I can't like coordinate how to point my finger in this reversed camera, but there we go.
Yeah.
Love Kolzig.
He was really cool. You know, and all this stuff. And then, you know, of course, we've had Carl Olsner on a few times. That was it was definitely, it's interesting to talk to these like hockey guys that are, you know, legit legends, at least in our eyes, and how down to earth they are. So, you know, it's they always say like never meet your heroes or never meet people that you like idolize or like look up to that are kind of like in that famous light. But, you know, when it comes to like hockey players, absolutely meet those guys. They're all, you know, my experience, they're all probably pretty cool and down to earth. So, and not only that, really generous with their time in the sense of like, okay, we're going to talk to you bums who are just like a couple fans in a room, you know, talking into the internet. So I think that the cool guests that we've had on the podcast, along with just being a part of the network. I mean, at any given point, I could literally just open up our Slack and be like, dude, what is up with, you know, I don't know, what's a team that we never see? Like, what's up with Colorado? What's up with San Jose? And there's 2 or 3 people that know the team in and out. And, you know, they're biased as fans, but they all know hockey pretty well. So probably that exposure has been the best for me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So since you've been kind of in it for a while, I guess what would be some advice you give to like a podcaster who's sort of just getting in their feet in the water, so to speak?
Oh man, you guys got to pay me for those type of tips.
No. It's not for us, it's for the viewers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, you know, the biggest thing for me was just figuring out your tech, right? So like there's all this free software out there. We don't use anything fancy. I think we've paid for one piece of software, which is Voicemeter. It's a digital like PA system. So like Windows is trash, right? Like they don't let you have multiple inputs and, you know, playback things that you've recorded. So we used like Audacity and Voicemeter. Both of those are free, but we paid for like the non-ad version of Voicemeter, which is like $50 lifetime license, which is cool. And then, you know, when I know you guys are going through it, like trying to jump through all the like hoops to get on Apple and Google Play, doing your research. So, you know, I mean, the only thing I could say is like, you know, don't half-ass it. Find somebody that you like to do it with, which seems like you guys have, and you know, just go for it. Another thing that they liked, well, that was a big selling point for us, at least, in being approached, was sound quality. So invest in a decent mic. I think the one I use is only like $75, but it's like a USB microphone. So it's not like DLR or whatever, like, so I don't have to plug it into this crazy interface or anything to get it into the computer. It's just straight up USB. But it does well enough. You know, I don't think I'd record like studio albums on it or anything, but you know, for podcasting, it's legit, you know. So sound quality and also I think the number one thing, consistent schedule, right? So if you're gonna say I'm gonna do a podcast every week, do a podcast every week. You know, even if you don't have much to talk about, which fortunately the Caps have given us a ton to talk about this season. But you know, always release on the day that you promise, and consistency is so key, man. It's crazy how even if it's like a shitty episode and you're like, dude, that episode kind of sucked, your viewers or your listeners will still appreciate you being there.
Definitely. So, like you said, the Caps have definitely given us plenty to talk about lately. We are actually on a 3-game win streak again. We beat the Habs 6-3. Then we beat the Panthers, who a lot of us think, I don't know about now, but maybe a week ago, definitely a lot of people would say we're the best in the league. And then just a day ago, we beat the Canes 4-2. And again, I think if you had asked a lot of people just a few days ago who the best team in the Metro is, they would have told you the Carolina Hurricanes. But we dubbed up all three of those boys, so that's definitely something good. I guess just we can open the floor for anybody who has anything that they want to touch on about those stretch of games. I definitely want to mention Ovi. I mean, obviously that's a given typically when you're talking about the Capitals, but Ovi had a hat trick against Florida. He had a goal against Carolina. And as of right now, he's second in the league in both point standings with 37 and goals with 19. So the man is 36 years old, like we say every single week. The fact that he's producing at this rate at such an old age for a professional hockey player is mind-blowing. So just got to get that out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to talk about just in general, just because he's just not slowing down. Like, you could just see it too. Like, he is on a mission this year. I don't know what happened. It's because maybe the playoff loss last year and how we didn't produce very well in the playoffs. But God damn, that man is on a tear.
Playoff 2018 Koozies back. Ovi's feeding off of it. It's what you like to see.
Yeah, I had to fill out the Kuznetsov apology sheet.
You've had to fill it out like 3 times now.
We all have.
I love how.
Hey, speak for yourself. I never slandered Kuzi.
Why?
You can run the episodes back. I've always been on the Kuzi train.
But he looks better than even you would have expected, surely.
No, yeah, definitely. I definitely wouldn't have expected him or Ovi or this team in general to be doing as well as they are right now. Like, if you go to our predictions with Samantha Pell near the beginning of this or in preseason this year, like I said that the Caps were a fringe playoff team, and I can't exactly remember who exactly said that, but there was definitely people who agreed with me. I know Sam Pell agreed with me that we were a fringe playoff team. So
I also said that the Islanders were going to win the division.
Yeah, I did too.
So well,
I said that the Canes would win the division and that the Isles would win second. The Canes prediction was right, or they're still right there. But everyone definitely thought the Islanders would be doing better than they are right now, and their fans were saying, "Oh, we just need home games," and then they lost 4 home games. So I don't know exactly about that, what they've got going on, but if you go back to the preseason this year, nobody, maybe like Joey or Jake, I can't remember, but
I think it was both of us, didn't we?
You guys thought that we were gonna win the division, and we were calling you absolute.
It was definitely Joey. I can't remember if I agreed with him or not, but I know Joey definitely said that we were gonna win the division because I remember it was a whole thing about him believing in our team.
The general consensus was definitely not that the Caps would be doing as well as they are right now, especially given the fact that we've been with so many injured people. Backstrom hasn't played a single game this year. Mantha's out now for long term. Eller's been in and out. Oshie's been in and out. Dowd's been in and out, et cetera, et cetera. Now Schultz has been in and out. It's just, nobody would have expected this. Like, it's like considering how we've been playing like half of our lineup as Hershey Bears players for the last month or so. It's, we wouldn't have expected this. But
I was actually going to mention though, that kind of brings up an important point about like all the rookies. You've got a lot of guys who are playing really, really well. Mm-hmm. McMichael and Protas are kind of the two that come to mind when you think about the question that I was thinking of, which is, you've got at least McMichael and at least Protas who you would probably want to stay in the lineup. So who comes out when everybody's back? Because you're not going to sit TJ Oshie or Anthony Mantha or Nicholas Backstrom. So, does McMichael move over to that third line wing? Do you maybe think about trading Eller? I actually would really like to trade Eller and get McMichael just solidified on that third line, maybe with Stone or something. Yeah, I mean,
whoa. Okay, all right. Now, so Lars Eller, and we've said this is like, we call him the linchpin to the Stanley Cup. He is the reason that the Caps won the Stanley Cup, and it's not because he scored the game-winning goal in Game 5. Think about it. I mean, he comes in, spends a year with the team, and then the next year we win the Cup. So he comes in, does all right. He's freed up so much, and if you look at that Cup run, like how Backstrom was out and he had to play second line center. and this is why the Penguins had so much fucking success, unfortunately, is that they drafted and they picked up on centers. I mean, they're, Nick Bonino, who I believe is a center, and these guys who were somewhat underrated, they would bring in for strength down the middle, and their whole thing, because right now I live outside Pittsburgh, and it's always during their winning years, they're always talking about how strength down the middle was so important to them in building their team. And if you remember back to the Marcus Johansson days when Mojo was playing in, trying to fill that third center slot, he never really fit in there. I love him as a player, but he never really got the job done. I'm fully against getting rid of Lars Eller. I think that we need strength down the middle. I don't think McMichael is a third line center in the NHL yet. I think that he needs a little bit longer to develop, maybe in a couple years. And I don't even know if he's going to be, Lars Eller status. I mean, this is a guy that's a consistent, 40-point guy a year, I'd say 40 points. But he plays such a large defensive role. McMichael could get there for sure, but I just don't think he's there yet. So I feel if we're win now, which we are and should be, Lars Eller's got to be a part of that picture, man. No doubt. And then to speak on your point about the young guys, I mean, these guys have been buried in Hershey for some of them 2-3 years, right? Usually when you're a high pick, a first round pick, you're getting sniffs at the lineup, within your first year, definitely in your second. And I mean, if you haven't been moved by your third year, you're playing in the NHL somewhere, hopefully, you would think. Second rounders, they fall off dramatically. I mean, the stats say that, to play, it's only half of the first rounders that get picked up play over 100 games in the NHL. So, there's a large drop off, but you've got to think that these Hershey guys are just chomping at the bit. It's truly right now, they can definitely show off, if not to Caps management, the league, that they're of value and are NHL worthy. And I think that most of our prospects have done that. So they all have a chip on their shoulder. And again, this is something that, for years in the past, as Caps fans, we haven't been able to see because our team has been so solidified. The top 6 is never going to change in DC, the top 4 in D. So you're really can you perform at an elite level on the third and fourth line as a forward or the bottom pair? And so, I think that our best rookie's been Martin Ferriari. And I don't think it's even close, to be completely honest. He looks so poised there on the top pair. But, to your point, I think that maybe having these young guys, these new faces in the locker room, which, looking at the player's standpoint, hasn't happened in the Ovechkin era, really. I mean, a lot of free agents and things like that, but homegrown young studs coming up from the farm, think about the last time, we had a wave of that was John Carlson, Carl Alsner, Holtby, that the back-to-back Hershey Bear Calder Cup winning team was the last time. And, lots of those players have moved on. We still have John Carlson, obviously, and, but Holtby, unfortunately, is gone. But, yeah, so it's crazy to see. And I mean, I guess it was bound to happen, but again, the Caps have been so healthy in past years. I feel that the young guys have really kind of given the whole team a little bit of a jump, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Sorry, my dog's barking. I'll mute.
All good.
Jake and Will, what are your thoughts on Lars Eller?
Well, Will's would have just brought that up, and I think they should trade him. But
yeah.
I think we hold off on that for now, just because Lars Eller is a very key piece to our team. It's going to be interesting what we do with the rookies that we need to move when we get healthy people back. But as of right now, I think for Eller, we just keep him where he is right now and see what he does. If he underperforms, then maybe we can move on. But at the same time, I think he's a key veteran piece. He's a key piece to his team. So I think we keep him for now.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where I'd go on that. I'm not sure I entirely agree with Troll on that that McMichael isn't ready to be a third line center in the league. Obviously, everyone's entitled to their own opinion on who's good enough to be where. But I mean, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, advanced analytics and statistics say that this and this and this. Obviously, they're valid to an extent. Obviously, some things are valuable that you can't see inside those things. But McMichael's been one of our really best players, like when it comes to advanced analytics and stuff. I mean, while I agree that he's not exactly, putting up the numbers that we hope, we also have to realize that this is like his first year in the NHL as a full-time player. But it's not like it's like we call it, I guess we could call it like the Anthony Mantha curse. It's like you're producing a shit ton of chances, but like they're not going in, like especially last year in the playoffs, one of the biggest things that all the casual Caps fans would be like, oh, trade Anthony Mantha. He's not scoring any goals, blah, blah, blah. He was producing
Nobody wanted us to actually trade Mantha.
He was producing the most chances on the team last year in the playoffs. Like, if anybody remembers that, like, Mantha was arguably like our best player in the playoffs last year when it comes to the offense. He just wasn't scoring goals. Obviously, you wanted to put up numbers, but it's like the chances are coming there, and eventually they're going to start to continue to fall more and more. So I definitely don't think it'd be a good idea to take McMichael out of the lineup. I think he's just getting started, and yes, obviously Nick Backstrom's going to have his spot when he gets back. Yes, obviously Nick Dowd has his spot on the fourth line. But, I mean, hear me out. You can keep Lars Eller at the 3C. Take Carl Hagelin out. Take a rookie out. Obviously McMichael's a rookie. While I do like – we're going to talk about that more later. While I do really like this Hershey line that we've been running with right now with Malenstein and Scarbosa, that's a great line. They've been playing really well. At the same time, I'd rather have Connor McMichael in my lineup than Scarbosa or Malenstein, Like, Connor McMichael is like half the age of I know Scarbosa. Scarbosa is actually pretty old, but not old, but, definitely like years older than Connor McMichael. Connor McMichael is, one of the biggest pieces in the future of this team. I don't see any good more than bad coming from taking him out of the lineup right now. Same thing with Daniel Sprong. I'll just say this now, but obviously Laviolette scratched Daniel Sprong the other night, and I was talking to a buddy about this. What do you guys think? Would you, if you're Laviolette, do you break up that Hershey line and put Sprong in, or?
Oof.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. Would you break up that Hershey line in order to put Daniel Sprong in the lineup, or do you keep that Hershey line and not put Sprong in? Because me personally, I'd rather just put Sprong on the line with a couple Hershey guys than keep the chemistry of the Hershey line. Because I think Daniel Sprong has proven himself to be worthy of being in the lineup every night. While I do agree, obviously it's shown that he's not the strongest defensive player, and that's obviously something Laviolette values, but I feel like his offensive, output that he could be giving is worth keeping him in the lineup. But what do you guys think on that?
I feel like everything Laviolette has touched has turned to gold so far, so I'm not going to argue too much with his decisions. If he wants to make them like that.
That's fair. But what do you think is going to happen with Daniel Sprong then? Because I feel like if it's going to be the same thing like that happened with Jacob Vrana, there's some little, issue with not getting put in the game. If I'm Daniel Sprong and I'm playing 40 games out of an 82-game season, I'm going to demand a trade. It's as simple as that. He's clearly worthy enough to be an NHL player every single night. So, and I can just see it happening now. If we trade him or lose him, he's going to just become like a rocket candidate. He's going to shoot to the stars. It's going to be the same thing with we've said this so many times. Andre Burakovsky, twice the player he is now than he was with us. We got rid of him. Now he's really freaking good. Philip Forsberg, we lost him. Now he's insane.
Okay, we never had a chance with Philip Forsberg though. I think everyone knew that was a terrible thing. But we
Same thing with Chandler Stevenson. Chandler Stevenson is the first line center on Vegas now, and he's playing really good. And I'm sure Jacob Braun is going to produce goals once he's not injured and is playing for
I
Detroit.
mean, he did last year when we traded him anyway. He had a 4-goal game.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
Yeah.
the thing that's always been the Capitals' big problem with the young guys is that they have so many good older players that they can't really sneak them in the lineup. I mean,
Yeah.
were you going to give Burakovsky top 6 minutes over Oshie or Wilson or Ovechkin or any of those guys? I mean, not
No.
really. Or Justin Williams back in the day, I think, was one of them. But yeah, you're not.
So here's my knock against Sprong is that, he could demand a trade, but we got him for league minimum anyways. And that was because he was, the Penguins didn't like him. The Ducks didn't like him. And now we got him. Is it a reclamation project? Yeah. I mean, at best. He's got 6 points in 20 games. That's limited minutes. I get it. Obviously it's not terrible stats. You'd like to see him pack on a couple more assists. But the defensive failings for a guy so fast, I would probably keep Hagelin in. And I know no one likes Hagelin, and I don't understand why. The dude's such a team player. He's a specialist, right? And I think that's what separates him from Daniel Sprong is that Hagelin can kill penalties and be a threat offensively when killing penalties. Daniel Sprong.
I don't know about the
is
second
never-
part. Threat offensively.
Well,
Okay.
at least somebody that the defense has to, or the offensive team on the power play has to at least watch out for. Like they have.
I
to
don't
be
know
conscious
about
of
that either.
In
I
any case,
have
you
more
wanna be
trust
giving up
in my
breakaways.
mother on a breakaway in the NHL than Carl Hagelin. Shout out to my
Yeah.
mom.
Awful. Just can't finish.
Hey, he can't buy one, and he's been snake bitten for like 2 years now. Watch this.
When
is the
was his
season.
last goal? Do we know when his last goal was? Like
He scored one this
Yeah,
year.
last
I know.
year.
I think, but he's only got
Hagelin
one.
scored one this year.
No, I don't think he has.
I don't think he
I think
has.
so.
He has.
Google.
Has-
I'll look it
No,
up. but I
0
know
goals,
right
2
he has.
assists.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
He's a plus
Not
3
even
though.
win this year.
Let's go.
Rare
Plus
troll
3.
L.
Plus
Rare
minus the most
troll L.
advanced stat.
I mean,
Also,
nobody on the
Ovi's
Caps
like
is
top
mine.
3 in plus minus right now. Ovi has been significantly
Well,
better
yeah, 'cause
defensively
he's-
this year.
Yeah.
And he just scores
Ovi-
everything.
Yeah,
He
like
just scores everything now. Though.
one of my that's like my favorite thing that makes me the happiest this year. Obviously,
Oh,
apart from
fuck.
the fact that Ovi is producing the amount of points he is right now as a 36-year-old, is the fact that just like everything he's doing is like slowly silencing what everyone else has always slandered about him. Like the biggest criticism Ovi's ever always gotten in his career are one, he relies on the power play and can't score otherwise, and two, that he doesn't play a lick of defense. This year, he's leading the league in 5v5 points by a lot. He has like 24 even strength points right now, and I saw that the only other player in the league that's even been on the ice for 24 of their team's goals is Aaron Ekblad. Yeah, and obviously Ekblad's a great player, but he's not Ovi. So, and second, he's been significantly better defensively. Like obviously plus minus is there. Obviously that's not the most reliable statistic and it doesn't show the whole picture, but just by watching the games you can see that Ovechkin's been more sound defensively. So, come on, haters, come up with a new slander topic for Ovechkin that he's going to disprove. Oh, he can't pass.
He's been a good
Oh, how many
playmaker.
assists does he have this year? He can't pass. He doesn't pass.
Right.
Yeah, bullshit.
I don't know. Did you guys hear the John Scott prediction? Obviously, right? I mean, you guys have had to hear at least some of that.
Yeah, that he was going to die out this year and the Caps would suck.
Yeah. I mean,
Welp.
yeah. Talk
do
about
that.
somebody trying to stay relevant.
Cold takes.
Freezing
exposed,
cold
or
takes.
Hot takes. Yeah,
Freezing
takes.
cold takes.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not even like we're not even halfway through the season and he looks like a fucking idiot for saying that. So, gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I think like if Ovechkin puts up 50 this year, like it kind of becomes a timer rather than an if, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
They
he's gonna
Yeah.
always
NHL
be
just
there.
posted today. They
What he is
posted
at?
a graphic. It was like, will Ovi break Gretzky's record?
He's like,
He's like,
he's
how
gonna
many
sit
is he
there
at?
in that
You
left
know?
circle. He's gonna sit there in that left circle. He could do this if he's 43. Sit there in that left
Yeah.
circle and score 10 goals a year. He could do that if he's
Exactly.
43. Then you add in the 5-on-5. He's probably gonna get some goals there. I mean, if he has a 50-goal season this year, which is like really possible now,
It's
which
a
is
matter
kind of
of when.
insane. I mean, I always say that, barring injury, fingers crossed. That's the only way I see this going sideways. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's gonna do it. And honestly, him breaking that record is a cup, as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
it's more than a cup. It's more than
Say
a
it's
cup.
3 cups.
Yeah.
I would
I'd say that that's like I could be the Caps could never win a cup in my lifetime for the rest of my life, and I'd still be like satisfied as a fan
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
I saw Travis. He tweeted like 2 hours ago. He said Ovechkin is 5 goals away from tying his total from last season.
Yeah.
That's just. I mean, obviously last year was, weird, but still.
Yeah, but he's going off. He's
That's-
going crazy,
I
bro.
know, he's going crazy.
Like when it comes to straight just like numbers and averages per game, he's on pace for like 60. So 50 is definitely
yeah,
best
very
entire
possible.
career.
They put Draisaitl at 61 and him at 60, right?
That's
that's
a
all, like, the-
little optimistic, but who knows? He's going crazy.
It was from like Dom from the Athletic posted or something.
Yeah.
It was. Well, that's
I'd be
what-
happy with either of those boys winning the Hart and the Rockets. So
Yeah.
I'm in a good place right now. I'm in a good place right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it is incredible. I mean, the best start of his career at age 36 truly is the Russian machine that never breaks. I mean, it's mind blowing. I mean, if he beats his 65 goal record, I mean, stranger than fiction. You couldn't make that shit up, man. I mean, in my most blacked out, drunken state, I don't think I would have ever said, Ovi's gonna score 70 or above 65 with any sort of like actual confidence in that, other than just talking shit. So he's making it like a real possibility. It's pretty crazy, for sure. I mean, I can't think of a player who's had a season this good at this age the entire time we've been playing hockey.
The oldest MVP as of right now is a 34-year-old. I can't remember who it was.
Okay, so I love the dude, and I think he's having the greatest season. He has the best season right now. If you were to end the season now, give me your MVP, I think it's got to be Ovechkin. I mean, I know Draisaitl's got 20 goals in 20 games, but he plays with 97, who's the best player on the planet.
Right.
But come the season end, I don't think it's likely that he'll be, comparable point wise to McDavid and Draisaitl. But I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he
Clip
does.
that.
But, like, you've got two guys who are like the two best players in the world playing together on a power play that's like 35%. Like, you would think eventually Ovechkin's numbers are just going to fall behind that, not even because of individual talent, but just team diff. But we'll see. He's proved everybody wrong, and I hope he proves me wrong again. But yeah, if he's with McDavid and Draisaitl,
You're gonna have to fill out an Ovechkin apology form.
And I think he's the Hart winner right now, but it'll be tough. It'll be tough to keep up that pace. But I hope so. I really hope so.
If this is the pace that keeps going, if this is the pace that all of them keep going, the heart rate should be pretty fun to watch.
I mean, Draisaitl's got to slow down too, right? There's no way he's scoring 82 goals. There's just no chance.
German machine never
You never
breaks.
know.
50.
It's not going to happen. I'll eat my shoe if he scores 82 goals.
80. I thought he's on pace for 62.
No, he's got those projected scoring rates is not like the actual pace multiplied out. He's got 20 goals in 20 games.
Oh, so he's on pace for 82 technically.
Not gonna happen. No chance.
If he scores 82 goals, I'll drink out of my shoe also. I'll do that. No shot.
He didn't say drink. He
It's
said
definitely
eat, man.
possible.
You gotta eat
Yeah,
it.
I'm not eating
Not
a
gonna
shoe. I'll drink out of a shoe.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm not
We'll
eating
ask
a
Noah
shoe.
how a shoe tastes. We'll ask Noah how a shoe tastes. He's done that before.
Yeah. I'll eat a ghost pepper if he scores 80.
It's
Yeah,
usually
I'll do
because of
that.
Carl Hagelin scores. That's why Caps Twitter does stupid things.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, I tweeted that the one thing. I forgot what it was, but I said if Carl
Oh,
scored,
first
I
and
just said
goal,
you were
let's go.
stupid. Oh yeah, the Washington football team right now.
So you brought up Troll. You brought up how valuable Carl Hagelin is to the penalty kill. and that was something that I had written down today that I wanted to mention. Just how phenomenal our penalty kill has been lately. Like I know in the Carolina game we had a couple right away, and we shut those down pretty easily. They didn't even produce many chances out of them, but that's the one thing Hagelin's got, man. But that's like also what I think though. It's like, yes, he's valuable and an asset to our penalty kill, which is good right now, and you don't exactly want to change that. But the second I see a dip in our penalty kill, send him off to the KHL. All right. Like, I feel like there's other guys on this team, Evgeny Kuznetsov, that are fully capable of running the penalty kill. I feel like we have put Protas on the penalty kill. He's like 7 feet tall.
Protas is not ready to do an NHL penalty kill. I do not think.
But you get my point. I feel like we have guys that, with a little bit of time, could very well be assets on the penalty kill. Like, I feel like it's not worth it. Like, I don't know. We have people.
The thing about Carl is that fourth line is like just chilling, doing their thing. You never have to worry about them.
Yeah.
That is valuable. And if you switch out Hagelin, you don't know if you'll still have that. So
yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Sorry, you got.
Well, I mean, the fourth line on good hockey teams is there to keep the puck in the offensive zone for their whole shift. Funneling chances to the net is secondary, I believe, in today's NHL. So you put the fourth line out there, and every time the fourth line hits the ice, the puck doesn't leave the offensive zone generally. And if it does, I mean, we're getting the puck back like very quickly and going the other way. Look, I get that Carl Hagelin isn't a goal scorer, but he's not there to be a goal scorer. He's not there to be a points getter. He's there to eat shots and scare people with his speed and escapability. I mean, he's a liability to the other team. I mean, I guarantee in video sessions, they're like, all right, look, Carl Hagelin, yeah, he's older, but he can still skate. You can't sleep on this guy, and you can't let him
AJF could do that too, but we sent him back to Hershey.
Who's that?
AJF could Axel Johnson Fialbi, faster than Carl Hagelin, but we sent him back.
Yeah, and that's because he was a Carl Hagelin 2.0. He couldn't bury either. He was creating chances just like Hagelin does. But because he's like 10 years younger, everybody gives him a pass. I don't know. I don't buy it, man. I don't buy the. He's getting his chances. They're bound to go in eventually. But the thing is, look at his lineys. They're scoring. You have mcdavid. You have Hathaway. If he's a bit of a passenger on the offensive side, I'm okay with that because he's incredibly responsible defensively, and all three of those guys back check their asses off and grind really well. So I am on Team Hags. So I get it. I do get it because look, man, when I'm watching the games and I'm like Carl Hagelin on a breakaway and it's just like miss the net, I'm like, oh fuck. All I think about is like, I'm like, I don't even open Twitter because I know it's just going to be like slander 100% on Carl Hagelin. I can't be there to watch it. I'm like,
it's like an NBA. It's like Ben Simmons missing free throws. It's like, or Shaq missing free throws. It's like, you can like, unless you're like the best player in the league at what your specialty is, it's like, at the same time, you're a professional athlete getting paid that much money to play a sport. Like, why aren't you like at least like functionable at the most basic and like important aspect of the sport? It's just
he's a good skater, so
yeah. You know what I mean. I miss Jason Chimera.
This is a first this season, the first pro Carl Hagelin truther on the podcast this year.
I don't think I hate him as much as like most people do, but
I have mixed feelings because like I get what
he can't
Troll's
score.
saying.
It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
I agree with like what Troll's saying in like his valuableness in the penalty kill and like his defensive reliableness is obviously important. If our defense is like allowing the fourth least goals per game in the league, which we are, obviously we're doing something right on the defensive end, as on the contrary to what a lot of people like to believe. But you don't want to mess around with that. But like, it's just frustrating.
Here's the kicker. Let me ask you this: Okay, we talked about Daniel Sprong here, right? Speedy guy who does have finishing ability. All right, would you trade Carl Hagelin, keep Daniel Sprong, and put him on that fourth line and be like, yeah, I love this?
No.
Exactly.
I wouldn't put him on that fourth line.
That is your
I wouldn't
answer.
put him on that fourth line.
The thing about that fourth line that I guess makes Hagelin a little frustrating is because Dowd and Hathaway are literally the perfect fourth liners. You wouldn't trade either of them for a single fourth line guy in the league, right? Because Dowd's got scoring ability. He wins faceoffs. He's pretty big. He lays hits. He's responsible. He's the perfect fourth liner. Hathaway, same thing. Grinder. He'll stick up for anybody. I mean, if you get in the face of Hathaway, would be Tom Wilson if he had the same ice time. Like, dude will get in the face of anybody. It's just that it happens to be like Wilson's looking out for Ovi or Wilson's looking out for Kuzi. But if Hathaway was on that line, he'd do the same thing, and you love him. And then Carl Hagelin is a good fourth liner and does his role well, but he's not the perfect dude. And we want that perfect guy, but he's not there. So I think definitely sticking with Hagelin, at least as it stands, is the best option for that line.
Yeah, and I mean, who is that perfect guy? Nobody in our system, I don't believe. I don't think. And remember, we're talking fourth line.
Clone Hathaway.
10 to 12 minutes a game, right? And who, even in the league, there's definitely nobody in our system that is a Hagelin replacement that will jive or that will fit with that fourth line. But I can't think of another player in the league that at least I know the name of that fits. I really don't, because you're looking for speed.
Couturier on that line will win the
He's like a Selk winner.
Well, exactly. I think that honestly, I think that Sidney Crosby would fit in pretty good. He wouldn't be a perfect match on that.
Fit in well in any lineup.
Yeah, he's no Carl Hagelin. I mean,
he's no Carl Hagelin.
Carl Hagelin for Sidney Crosby, 1-for-1. Who says no?
Straight up, but the Penguins retain half salary.
The Caps.
Is Hagelin a Penguin with Crosby?
Yes.
He
destroyed us. He was also a Ranger and also destroyed us, which is why him not being able to finish is more frustrating because he used to destroy us.
Sidney Crosby get Hagelin and Crosby back together? We want to club with them.
we can trade for Crosby when he's like 40.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I don't know if you've obviously I'm pretty ingrained in Penguins Twitter as well, but I always watch the the Crosby versus Ovechkin debates, and I've had them a million times. But it's the line keeps the goalpost keeps moving for what Crosby's great at, right? So at first he was a great young talent, the best young talent. Then he was the best player in the world, quote unquote, which is a fucking stupid. This is a stupid classification for a fucking hockey player anyway. The best player in the world, that's just so dumb. And then it was like he's the best leader and playmaker. And now it's devolved all the way into he's the best grinder in the league. He can grind so well. It's like Nick Dowd can grind really well, but what's your fucking point here?
Sid is obviously probably the greatest player of the generation if you were to end it now. And fantastic player, but I don't necessarily know if as it stands now, if he's really as elite as people want him to be. I mean, I feel like Ovechkin right now is elite, and it's not debatable.
Right.
Sidney, I don't think he is. I mean, he's an elite player. You take him over most of the guys in the league, but as it stands right now, you're not going to compare him to Ovechkin or Matthews or Draisaitl or McDavid or McKinnon or any of those guys.
Show me a category where Sidney Crosby is top 10
exactly
all time.
Right now
in any points per game. Points per game, I think, is where he lands top 10 in any all-time category. And okay, that's fine, but that's really just a punishment for people who stayed healthy and didn't have headaches. I hate that guy so much. I think he's overblown. And me and Nick Berlansky have gone rounds on this. He's the Tip of the Iceberg podcast. Shout out to them. They're actually really cool dudes, but we go rounds on this, man. I think that in 50 years, people are going to look at Sidney Crosby like they look at Brian Trottier, a winner. He won. He had good teams around him. He unfortunately played for a decent organization in the Penguins, and that's kind of how it's going to go down. Like, he'll have his note in history, but Ovechkin, when he is the all-time, he's up there with Wayne Gretzky. He's going to be the only category in scoring that is going to usurp Wayne Gretzky. And then, he's going to pass Andre Chuck here soon. So that'll be 2.
How many goals away is he from?
He has like 1 power play goal to pass Andrew Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which may or may not happen this season.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Don't jinx it.
Knock on wood, OV scores one
no more power play goals the rest of the season. Only 5-on-5.
And empty netters.
I'm fine with
empty
that.
Netters, yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with empty
goals
netters.
Are goals.
Goals are goal.
We'll take it.
Exactly.
God, he missed that backhand by like 3 feet yesterday or 2 days ago. I was crying.
I had to watch that game at work. The Panthers game. I had to watch the game at work, and I was like, with my boss, like in the break room, just watching it. Like, you guys got to get back out there. I'm like, Ovi's almost at a hat trick. We got to watch. They understood. He got it. He understood.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Also, if Ovi gets somehow 60 goals this year, he'd be the first 60 goal scorer since Stamkos in 2011.
Yeah, and that's like young Stammer, who before his bones were glass.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the goaltending, because we definitely need to touch on that. So
I'm sorry,
Samsonov,
Sammy.
Yeah, sorry for
sorry, man.
It's the playing field's been leveled again. We're never going to have.
It's been tilted in Samsonov.
Yeah, it's been tilted in the other way again. It's like a seesaw or goaltending battle. 1 week it's one guy, next week it's the next guy. But Sammy's had 3 starts in a row. Obviously, they've gone well. He has only allowed. He hasn't allowed more than 3 goals in any of them.
He hasn't lost a regulation game.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a regulation
ridiculous.
game this whole year. It's like him and hadn't Anderson also not, or someone.
Now he has.
Yeah, now he has. Haha. But yeah, Samsonov's been insanely good.
Yeah, we talked about Samsonov last week too, but I just want to fill out my apology application.
I'll fill out a Samsonov apology.
Just talking shit on him at the beginning of this. Yeah, I need to make one. Talking a little shit on him at the beginning of the season. But hey, sorry, man.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep it up.
Have you guys seen Mark? Have you guys seen Mark Stone get put on a highlight tape like 3 times in the last week?
Yeah, it's been great.
A Selke candidate last year getting just baptized like twice a week now. Like I don't remember who it was. One of them was on he was on a power play, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody dangled on him and scored. And then someone did him dirty again like the other day on like a breakaway. I can't remember who it was either time, but he's been getting destroyed as of lately, so that's interesting.
So I think I'm gonna have to rain on the Samsonov parade. I'm another dissenting opinion by Hockey Troll, I think. He's been playing very well. But I think that the team in front of him this year has been playing a lot better than in front of Vanacek. Here's what, and look, okay, we saw this with Vasilevsky, right? And when we talked to Oli Kolzig, he was like, he came out and said, I think that Samsonov can be the next Vasilevsky, but he's got to do a bunch of things and get his act together and not get COVID and stay out late with Kuzi and shit like that. But he's a guesser, man. He guesses too many plays. And I think that the Lars Eller turnover, which was not at all his fault. I mean, it was an odd man rush or whatever. But Lars had the guy, he recovered and had the guy far side. So, it was a great play by the Canes there to get, who's it, Nietzsche, I think, the puck in the slot. And I mean, that's a bury every time. But Samsonov, early in his career, I thought struggled with like what I call like happy feet. He just seems like so technically unsound, like almost a little bit of like Dominic Hasek. He gets a little too, he moves too much. And then on those softy goals that he gives up, he doesn't move enough. I think his like half butterfly stand up hybrid style is he relies a lot on his size and a lot on shooter error. But in the NHL, these guys are just too fucking good. So they're bearing on him on those soft goals. But then he comes out and does like this incredibly acrobatic save that saves the game, you know. So I think what I'm looking more from him is even, and I know this is going to sound stupid because he's like 10-0-1 or 9-0-1 now, more consistency, because I think that 6 of those wins were against cupcake teams. Goaltending is held at a very high standard in DC, and to become a starter in DC, you have to steal the net. And that goes back to like pre-Kolzig years. Everybody has stolen a net. Vanacek, Holtby, Newverth, you know, all these guys stole nets to become the starter. I believe that Samsonov needs to do that as well. But I think that he's on the right track, but I'd love to see him be a little bit more cerebral in the sense of reading plays better. And there are times, dude, where he just, especially on the side, like when the play gets to the side of the net, he's so aggressive that there's so many times where I've seen him like get up and just kind of stumble back into the net. I mean, you guys have seen it too, right? I mean, I'm not just hallucinating this, right?
Seen it.
No, he gives up some softies. I mean, there's no denying that. And he would, he realistically, he has lost a game to the Florida Panthers. That technically went as a Vanacek start, but I mean, he lost us that game. So from that perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, look, it's a good problem to have. You know, you love that healthy competition, love the two-headed monster that the Caps goaltending has right now. I think that we're in really good places. Like I said, good problem to have. But I don't think that he is the undisputed king of the net yet. You know, he shits the bed for 3 games, and it's Vanacek's net, and he's on a short leash.
We're just never going to have a solidified goalie ever again.
If we keep winning, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If it works, fuck it.
Yep. Will, you want to do your little special portion of the
What
episode?
is the Cyber Monday thing? Oh,
I'll say that part. Just say the thing that I sent to Joey a couple days ago.
oh boy. Okay. All right, here it comes. Ho ho ho, gentlemen! The holidays have come early this year, as Manscaped have the gift that keeps on trimming. Santa's beard isn't so appealing when it's coming out of your trousers, and that's why Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have you covered this holiday season. Now available in your country, join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped to keep their trees trimmed and ornaments polished. Go to manscaped.com and use code PHP for 20% off plus free shipping.
Fuck yeah. Thank us.
Yeah, you're not talking.
Yeah, I cannot hear you.
Oh.
Are you muted?
Am I muted?
No,
No,
yeah.
not you.
Eric.
Yeah.
Am I good? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
You're good. You're
I can
good.
hear
You're
you.
good.
Control.
Okay. All I was saying was, fuck yeah, thank us later. I too have the Manscaped swag. Did you guys get stuff sent to you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's sick.
Do you guys use it? And it's you know, not to get too personal.
Mine actually jammed up at one point, but
Hello?
Whoa.
there you
Yeah,
go.
I can hear you. You're good.
All right. Also, so we're streaming this episode right now live on YouTube. It's almost 9 o'clock. So it is still technically Cyber Monday. Manscaped right now has a deal for 25% off for the rest of today for Cyber Monday. Let me go find that code for you. But right now, if you go on manscaped.com in the next 3 hours, and let's find it. I'm so unprepared. All right. Yeah, you guys can keep talking, but go on. All right, here. All right, here we go. So, yeah, if you don't even need a promo code. I don't think you even need a promo code. Let's just make sure. But
Definitely should
manscaped.com.
use promo code
Yeah.
PHP.
Okay. Yeah. No. Well. That's
definitely use.
So today, so right now everything is 25% off on manscaped.com, the entire website plus free shipping for the next 3 hours. So if you're watching this live right now, go to manscaped.com, get a free 25% off. If you are watching this episode or listening and it's not Monday anymore, then go use code PHP for 20% off and free shipping. Hashtag ad, hashtag ManscapedPod. Yeah. All right. Let's get back to Caps. But we love you, Manscaped. Go use our code and buy stuff. Like Troll said, the defense has been good lately. I do want to ask, though, what are your guys' opinions on Chalosky so far? If I said that right.
Good.
He's been good. I haven't seen much of the games just because
I don't have any complaints right as of right now, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, right now, I from what I've seen so far from some of the games I've watched, I haven't seen all like the games in full just because I was at work last week. But he's looked good, start off. So
Chalosky, yeah.
Chalosky.
I also do want to mention that I am impressed with John Carlson and Dmitry Orlov right now.
Thank God.
And Nick Jensen, like I am every week. Nick Jensen for Norris.
For Norris.
Yeah. Carlson had that. I can't remember which game it was. It might have been Florida or something, but he had the one assist where it was a slap pass to Kuznetsov, and Kuznetsov literally just got to walk it into the goal. One of the best passes I've seen from Carlson in a long time. But also, Orlov scored a go-ahead goal the other day, and he had an assist to Ovechkin, so that automatically gets you a lot of points with me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, passing to Ovechkin when he's wide open, I mean, that's all we want.
Yeah.
I like the defensive core. I think Chalosky stays in until Schultz comes back, and I think Schultz gets his spot back pretty easily. That's just a cap decision. It's a business decision. I think we're paying $4 million to Schultz, paying league min to Chalosky. The guy's got elite skating ability. He's got good edges. I like to see it. Seems to have his head on a swivel and be able to distribute the puck. All good things. I think that the defensive core in general has really benefited from the simplified and streamlined breakout that Laviolette has put in. And I think that's, if you were going to ask me, like, what is the best thing that Laviolette has done, it's not, empowering Ovechkin or whatever to do what he does. It's not the offense. It's 100% the efficient and simple breakout that has occurred with under his leadership. There were times where, like, when under Reardon, I was like, what is going on? That is like the exact opposite play that anybody would do. I mean, we like to put the puck behind our own net, and we would reverse just needlessly. With Laviolette, it's like, fuck it, get it out now. One touch pass off the boards into the middle. I think that only a few teams have caught on to this type of kind of like bump and run breakout. It's super simple. I mean, this is what you learn to play when you're like, a squirt when you're like 10 years old, and when first breakouts happen. So I would say, I think that's, and then his encouragement of getting the fourth man in, that defenseman being able to pinch. And so secondarily, the defense stepping up into the play and the forwards recognizing that, and everybody doing like a team-wide rotation in the offensive zone. So that's my take on why the defense looks so good. And then I guess third would be the PK. So I'm just over here stroking Laviolette. That's all.
I'm just really happy with Nick Jensen, like I've been the entire season. I love that guy. He's so quickly become one of my favorite players on this team. He's just so gritty and hardworking. Like, that's something that you can't teach. Like, any coach can teach any player to be good at hockey and certain aspects of the game. Like, I can teach this guy how to shoot. I can teach this guy how to skate better. But, like, hustle and just how much effort you're putting in 24/7 is something that's just like instinctual and habitual. And, that's just something that Nick Jensen has on lock. So I respect that about him. And I think it's very, very valuable to our team's success. But let's just wrap things up with some predictions for our next 3 games this week. So to start off, we play in Florida on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. And then we play at home versus Chicago on Thursday, and then on Saturday we play at home against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So,
I'll
Troll, if
just
you
do
wanna
mine
go-
real quick and then go if that's okay.
Yeah,
I think we just dub up. I think we take 3 wins. I mean, if we can beat Florida, we're winning all these games. So yeah, 3 wins, 4 OV goals. Y'all have a good one.
All right, well,
Respect.
respect.
Go ahead. Yeah, you can go first. Or
You can go, or Troll can go.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
I'll go. And it's funny because I think that and I'm gonna punch Paulie for this because I think he missed the Florida game on Wednesday. For some reason, we only had 2, and I said we were going to go 2-0, but I'm just going to double down on that. I think that we go 3-0. Let's keep this win streak alive. And as far as OV goals go, I said 0. I don't think he's going to score any, and I hope I'm 100% wrong. But I've been overshooting his totals and been right. So I feel like I'm going to intentionally be wrong. So I'm not really wrong, but I am wrong, right?
Reverse psychology.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
So you think we
I do
lose
that all
to?
the time.
So wait, so Florida, Chicago, and Columbus. Which games do we win and lose?
No, I think we win all of them, but I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
Obi scores any
My bad.
goals.
Oh,
I-
so he's
I
going to
think we
score
win.
10. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Jake,
fine.
Yeah, okay. I think we get 2 out of the 3. I think we lose to Florida in Florida, but I think come back and get 2 against Chicago and Columbus. I think we'll beat Chicago like 90-0. Fuck that team.
Fuck that for sure.
Fuck that organization.
Fuck that team. I think Ovi gets 3 this week. I don't think he scores any against Florida. I think he gets 2 against Chicago and 1 against Columbus.
Yeah, I think we might lose to Florida, considering we're playing in Florida. I hope I'm wrong, but Florida's been in a little bit of a slump the last week or so. So
Yeah.
I think they might.
They're
bounce
good. They're
back
still
against
good at
us.
home. They're still really good at home.
They're one of those teams that's just really hard to beat at home. Obviously, the
Kraken beat their
did it.
streak, but whatever. They're still good.
Obviously, the Kraken did it, but I can't see them losing
Don't
2
know
home
how.
games in a row. I can't see them losing 2 home games in a row. So I'm going to say we lose to Florida. Chicago, we're going to drop a 10 burger on them. That's that. So he's getting a hat trick, and then Columbus. Columbus is a little bit of a slept-on team. I think they're 12-7. They haven't lost in overtime yet. Obviously, we've done that 5 times, but I think Columbus is going to be a little tougher than some people might think. A lot of people, especially considering, we're the first place team in the league right now. No flex, but I definitely think Columbus is better than some people will give them credit for.
For sure.
For example, they're the 10th best power play in the league right now with 22%. Their penalty kill is also 12th in the league at 84%. They're 10th in faceoffs, but they do give up a lot of goals. They are 23rd in the league with that, but they get a good amount of goals. They are 6th in the league with goals for. We're 5th for goals for in the league, but we are 4th for goals allowed. I know that's a tongue twister and mind boggler for those of you listening, but I say we beat Columbus. I just think it's going to be a little closer. I think we might get our first overtime win and give them their first overtime loss. That's my take.
Ooh.
OV overtime winner in Columbus or in DC against Columbus at home. That's the hot
lava.
take. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's
wait. We get our first overtime win. They get their first overtime loss. You heard it here first.
All right.
Are there any questions that you had for us, Troll, just before we head out?
Yeah, I mean, how are you guys liking the podcast game, if you will, that we talked about? I mean, you guys seem to be creating some buzz, and I always see you guys up on social. So, I mean, it seems to be going well, no?
Yeah.
For sure.
Jake, you can give your input.
I mean, I was gonna say it's been great so far, just with like all the guests we've had this season. Because I think we've had a guest. We had a guest every episode.
Every episode except for one, I believe.
Yeah, but it's just like being able to get these guests just because we've been doing pretty well. So it's creating a lot of opportunities. I think that's really cool. Obviously, the sponsorship deal with Manscaped is great as well. Being able to get that, so hopefully more on the way.
Yeah. This will be a little sneak peek, I guess. We won't post about it until it's happening, but I guess if you're listening this far into the episode, then you deserve to know. But
Is it
I
kombucha?
what'd you say?
Is
No,
it
no,
kombucha?
no, it's not a sponsorship. But I'm still working on more sponsorships. We'll get there. But I got to meet Joe Beninati and Craig Laughlin in person the other day, and Craig Laughlin, who was a little bit under the influence. We love you, Craig. But Craig Laughlin agreed to come on the show with Joe Beninati together. So I don't know when it's going to happen. Obviously, we're a little busy. They're busy. You know, we're in the middle of a season, but they should be coming on together some point this year. And I won't say names now, but we've got a few other guests that we're working on right now. So more good things to come with the Pizzas Here podcast. Obviously, go support our boys over at Caps Chirp, the official Caps Chirp podcast for extended. But we love them. You know, go listen to them. Great content. But I'll take it out with the inspirational quote. This one's from Michael Jordan. Some people want it to happen. Some wish it would happen. Others make it happen. Go out there and chase your dreams, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to start a podcast, go start a damn podcast. If you want to go to the NHL, go to the NHL. Work hard and chase your dreams. And that's that. Good night.
Good night.
Later, guys. Thanks.
Well, yeah.